Hi friends, welcome. Today I really want to do a deep dive into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now, I feel like you don't even have to do yoga these days to be familiar or have heard of downward facing dog. It's a popular pose. If you do yoga, if you go to studios and practice, you've done it a bunch of times. Now, what happens very, very often is students will come in and tell me, I'm not going to do downward dog because I hurt my wrists doing downward dog, or my shoulders can't handle it, or my knees. So I want to break down the pose for you a little bit so that we do it safely, so that we do it well, and learn a lot about it. So first things first, let's start on all fours, the base of the pose. Place your hands, your wrists directly under your shoulders. Now look down, stare at your hands, at your fingers. Notice very often the hands start to do this. They roll towards each other, okay? You want to definitely extend to your fingertips. You want to point the index finger directly forward. And then line up your knees underneath your hips. Then push the floor away and lift the arm bones up towards your shoulders. And then use the strength of your legs to pull you up and then back. So press the thighs back, hips up, and relax your head. Now come right back down. Another thing that happens here is the hamstrings are tight, the legs are tight, and oftentimes instructors will say pedal or have a little bit of a bend in your knees. And that's fine, but the classic pose is really done with straight legs, which trains and opens the back of the thighs, the hamstrings. So it's a wonderful way to actually bring some flexibility into your legs. However, you don't want to straighten your legs by pushing from your knees back. Just like all your other standing poses, you got to find the center of the thigh and move back from there. So watch. Here's my legs bent. I'm keeping my arms lifting up, my arm bones lifting up towards my shoulders. I'm trying to get my shoulders to lengthen up towards my waist. Now I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to push back from my center thighs to straighten my legs. No worries if your heels don't come to the floor. It's fine. We'll work on pushing the center thighs back and relax your head. While you're here, watch your feet. Another thing that happens, oftentimes I see the feet come together. They're kind of like really casually placed there. And guess what? It affects the knees. It affects your ankles all the way up into the hips. So line up your feet to your hips. Pull the kneecaps up, thighs back, and push back from there. Take the sides of your hips up. Now your arms and legs are straight. Maybe you won't hold it for as long. You'll come down, take a little reset, and then you'll go back up and work on pushing the center thighs back. You want to keep that length coming to the side body, which will only come if your hips learn to go up and then back. And then come all the way down. Now, for those of you that have tight shoulders, a really good way to do this pose is to just turn your palms out a little bit. So when you place your hands under your shoulders, and please don't bring your hands any closer to each other than your shoulders. This is really an important alignment point. Okay? Now, your index finger can point towards the top corners of your mat. So you have a little bit of a turn, and you'll feel it. It makes a little bit of room in your shoulders. And again, you go up and back. Place your feet just right and push the floor away. And what you want to do as your fingers gently turn out, it can help you to activate your triceps. So your triceps have to roll a little bit towards each other. It'll feel like your tricep muscle is holding your upper arm, is hugging your upper arm. Then stretch the armpit skin up towards your hips and push the thighs back. Relax your head. Make sure you breathe. Come all the way back down. One last variation in this pose. I mean, there are many, but this is another one that may be really nice on the shoulders. Hold the edges of your mat with your hands. And it's like you're trying to tear your mat. Push away, then coming onto all fours. Now lift up.
The awesome thing about doing the pose this way is you can see how my back is rounded right now. I can activate as I take my thighs back. I can bring my upper back, shoulder blades in as I take the hips back and relax the head. This is a really good one for getting the posture to be better, especially if you're starting to get that kind of rounded back kyphosis coming in to your upper back. And then come all the way down and have a seat.
Just a few ways of adjusting your downward facing dog to make it better and set you up for much more advanced poses coming in. So I hope you enjoyed this, and comment if you have any questions. Thank you. Namaste.